The Predator is the newest take on this classic character, this time from director Shane Black. And once again, the movie is an absolute mess.
Predators just don't sit around making hats out of rib cages. They conquered space. But that's not what's on the horizon.
Should I be worried?
Riley. I think you know what is on the ship.
The Predator series is kind of like the Jurassic Park series, where in the first movie, it was so kind of perfect and it captured the whole theme and the idea of the film so well that they had to try to make sequels to it, but no sequel could ever live up to the original. But they had to keep trying because they have the intellectual property and they don't want to lose it. They want to try to make money off of it, and they just don't know how to do it like the original did it. And in this one, I mean, the director was actually in the original movie, Shane Black, but he makes a lot of odd choices. I think especially in the script. And a lot of even like the theme of the movie, like, this is, instead of almost an action movie, it's really like an action comedy. But I found the comedy odd, because like, most of the people that tell jokes, like, they laugh at their own jokes. Like, all the actors, they tell a joke and like, ha 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 ha, isn't that funny? Are you laughing too? Please? You're laughing, right? It's like, it's so forced. And none of the jokes are funny either. Like, I think in my theater, I heard one person in the back give like a chuckle. And and there's a lot of jokes. To have that many jokes and have none of them hit is just kind of depressing. Like, the only joke that I thought I laughed at all about was just when the Predator used a decapitated human hand to give a thumbs up to the person that was driving the vehicle. That was the only time I laughed in the movie. And for the action itself, it's messy. And I think it's weird because, this is, like, it's the Predator is basically that one of the Predators is escaped from other Predators and crash landed on Earth and interrupted this one guy's operation where he's a sniper. He's killing some Mexican drug dealers or something. They never really see what's going on, but it's weird because it looks like it's in like a Mexican jungle, and then he that scene ends like he finds the ship of the Predator and steals a gauntlet and the helmet, and he sends it to his home for his kid to find. And it's so funny though. Right after that scene, which is kind of a cool opening scene, you get teased like in the desert, a Mexican desert, and there's like no jump between the scenes. It's like there's like no it doesn't show where one scene got to the next. And I found throughout the movie, it doesn't know how to like bridge a scene. Like, I don't know if it was cut to shit, if the movie was just cut within an inch of its life, because it seems like multiple times scenes just like one scene ends and another scene begins like in a different space with like no connection between them, and it's clumsy. But I think that the worst thing the film did is it gave us an awesome Predator for the first like third or half of the movie. And this Predator is practical. It's a guy in a suit, and a lot of times he's like on a table, like, and the government people are checking him out. He's locked up, and they're like trying to run tests on him, and it looks great. And then when the shit hits the fan, he wakes up and starts killing everyone. It looks great. And then if the whole movie was just that Predator, I think it would have been a lot better movie. But then at a certain point, they have to introduce this super Predator. And this super Predator, there's no reason to do it, but it's a Predator meant for hunting predators. And it is it has less technology, doesn't have a mask, doesn't have all this, has internal plating, and make it bulletproof, and have internal weapons, but it's all CGI. And it also has horrible CGI predator dogs. And it's like, and it's funny, all the stuff with the Predator dogs and Olivia Munn, I think were reshoots. It seems like they added stuff, but like it's all like just them together, and it's all just kind of weird. Like they make the one like shoots the Predator dog in the head, and then it's like now a normal dog and wants to pal around with Olivia Munn, and it's like, oh my god. But it's so like if you show one Predator that looks so good, then you have the CGI that is not good. And all of it because like the reshoots and they didn't have enough time to do good CGI. Or if it's just that it just doesn't look good. And two, there's no point, like this Predator is like 11 feet tall or something. Like, and you don't notice it. You don't notice how tall it is except when it's like towering over the other Predator. Or there's one scene where it looks like a scene from Ant-Man where the Predator is inside a house and tearing it apart and like it's taking up 2 floors of the house. Like, other than that, it just, you don't notice its size. And it just makes it so that you have a CGI piece of crap instead of a really good practical suit. And it's just, it's depressing. Like, if you're going to do one Predator that's all CGI, you shouldn't have given us a really good practical Predator. And I know you might say that if you're thinking too much in a Predator movie, that you're doing it wrong. But I think that the logic is maybe the worst thing in the Predator. But so many times, things that happen don't make any sense logically. Like, in the beginning, the government brings in Olivia Munn, but she's like a scientist, animal expert that wrote books about like aliens or something, wanted to meet aliens or something, and they bring her in as an expert to examine the Predator. And they get her there, and then shit hits the fan, and the Predator gets loose, and she's chasing after the Predator, trying to like tranquilize it, and then she it gets away, and then like the military people are like, okay, kill her. And like, wait, you brought her in to help. Why would you get rid of her like that? It's just because they had to make the government people evil, and they had to make Olivia Munn team up with this group of crazy soldiers on a bus that like all have PTSD or all have different problems. Have to form a team of ragtag soldiers to fight the Predator. And some of the stuff with them is okay, but it's all so over the top and corny, and it feels like it's in a different movie. And some of the stuff is kind of funny, but it's just some other stuff is just weird, like kind of uncomfortable. And but again, the logic is messed up again in the one character's son, which is autistic. And throughout the movie, they do this really weird stuff of like, oh, some say people on the autism spectrum are actually more highly evolved than other humans. Oh, what do you think about that? And the Predator is like, oh, he's a real warrior. He know how to speak Predator. He autistic kid that really good. And but the Predator at certain point starts speaking, and he thinks Jacob Tremblay, the little kid, is a real warrior, and it's so random and weird. But that's fine. But what I didn't get is the mom of this kid just lets him do whatever he wants, even though he has autism, and he's shown at school being bullied by kids and having a freak out. And the funniest thing is that it's Halloween, and she lets this autistic kid go out on his own Halloween and go house to house, with a Predator mask and a Predator gauntlet. So she never even looked to see what kind of costume he was wearing. And he's just running around the street all by himself. He's like an 8-year-old autistic kid. And it's like, where is the logic to that? The script and the logic is also all messed up, with the whole reason for why this Predator came to Earth, like the original one, not the one hunting it, the Super Predator. But they try to make it stuff like where he's trying to help the humans fight the Predators because they're going to come try to take over the Earth and kill everyone. And it's like, oh, okay. Then why did the Predator start killing everyone when it woke up if it wanted to help the humans? It doesn't make sense. And the whole reason they did it is because they trying to set up a sequel in the most heavy-handed way since the last Mummy movie. and it's so poorly done. And like the thing is, if you're gonna have like there's like the spoiler, but doesn't really matter. At the very end, like kind of it's like a post credit scene, but it's before the credits. Like they open up this super suit that will make a person a predator killer. And it's like, if you're going to do that, why not include it, have that at the finale of the movie? Why not have the character find the suit in the ship and put it on and go head to head with this super predator? And that'd be a much more satisfying climax than what we got. Because it's weird, because you have all these characters that they're expendable. Like the original Predator movie, like each one was dying slowly towards the end of the film. And in this one, like even some of the characters in the original Predator that you really aren't there that long, they're all incredibly memorable. And this one, none of the characters are memorable, and they all survive until the third act of the film, which is, I think, where the studio interference, because at a certain point, like the bad guy Sterling K. Brown, who like runs the government that's inspecting the alien stuff, like he gets on a helicopter with Jacob Tremblay, and they go off to find the spaceship and take it. And then the ragtag group of soldiers, they find a helicopter and they go off to chase them. And they're both on the helicopters, and then the scene ends, and then the scene comes back where the government people are now driving in black SUVs going to the alien spaceship, and then the soldiers are already in position in sniper spots waiting to attack the government that are trying to take up the alien spaceship. It doesn't make any sense. Those scenes don't link up together at all. How do they get from the helicopters to the vehicles? Like, it doesn't make sense. And that's because I think that I wouldn't be surprised if like the final act was completely different, because it feels so. Like once things start going down, now the super predator starts killing everyone. Like all these characters that you've been with throughout the whole movie, they're like dead. And it's like, wait, did that guy die? But that guy was really important. What? Okay. Did he die though? Like you couldn't really even see. He's dead, right? So that was like the whole point of a lot of the why wouldn't you have the other characters? Okay, huh? That's like that when you're watching it, you don't know. Like it's so quick, and I mean some of the scenes you actually get more of like a death scene, but in other ones, like they're so quick you don't even know what happened, and it's so weird. Like I don't know what they were doing, and then it's a mess. Like it's an absolute mess, and I think it's even messier because all this stuff came out with Olivia Munn, which like the director hired a sexual predator to hit on her, and it's just it's creepy, it's weird, and all of it is just it's not good. I mean, there were some moments that could be kind of fun, like you're still watching Predator action. But it's just as a whole, I was so disappointed by this movie. I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. I would not recommend it. But thanks for watching. Check out the video playlist on my head, or subscribe to me in that video over there. Thanks.